All right, let's jump right in. We all rely on digital services, right? They're basically the lifeblood of, well, everything. But have you ever stopped to think about the actual physical servers that keep all that stuff running? I mean, they're not immortal. Hardware fails, networks, they go down. So the big question is, how do you stop your most important apps from just poof, vanishing when that happens? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today, VMware's amazing solution, high availability. So let's paint a picture. It's the middle of the night, and one of your key physical servers, the one hosting a ton of your most critical virtual machines, it just dies. Maybe a power supply blows, maybe the motherboard gets fried. Honestly, the why doesn't even matter. What happens in that split second? Yeah, it's really that simple and that brutal. All those applications, they just stop working. If that was your company's website, your sales just hit a brick wall. If it was your main database, well, the whole company just ground to a halt. It's a hard truth. In today's world, when a server stops, the business stops. But what if there was a better way? This is where our hero comes in, an automatic safety net built for exactly this kind of disaster. And we're talking about VMware High Availability, or as you'll usually hear it called, HA. The idea behind it is actually pretty straightforward. HA isn't about stopping a server from failing. Let's be real, that's impossible. It's about turning a potential catastrophe into just an inconvenience. It's this completely hands-off process that notices when a server goes down and, boom, automatically restarts its virtual machines on another healthy server. And that's the magic word right there, automated. Okay, here's a great way to think about it. Imagine HA is like an automated paramedic for your virtual machines. It senses there's an emergency, it rushes to the scene, and it resuscitates the patient, your app, in a new, safe place. And the best part? It does all of this without you having to do a single thing. No frantic 3 a.m. phone calls, nothing. So you're probably wondering, how does this digital paramedic actually pull off the rescue? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the step-by-step process of how HA springs into action. Okay, so it really breaks down into 4 main steps. First, you take your servers, your ESXi host, and you group them together in what's called a cluster. This just creates a big pool of resources. Think of it like having a whole team of paramedics waiting in the firehouse. Then, step 2, these servers are constantly talking to each other. They're sending out these little network signals called heartbeats to let everyone know, hey, I'm still here, I'm healthy. And this is pretty smart because it even uses your shared storage as a backup check to make sure it's not a false alarm. So what happens if a server's heartbeat stops? That's step 3. The other servers in the cluster notice immediately. They know one of their buddies is down. And that leads to step 4. The system automatically finds another healthy server with some free space and just restarts the dead server's VMs right over there. It's a totally seamless, super intelligent handoff. And get this, it's not just about the hardware failing. HA is smart enough to watch the virtual machines themselves. So if an operating system inside a VM just completely freezes up or a crucial app crashes, HA can spot that too and just restart that one specific VM. It's like having a whole other layer of protection. Okay, so all this tech is really cool, for sure. But what does it actually mean for a business? What are the real bottom line benefits? Let's talk about the big wins. All right, there are 3 huge ones. First, and this is the biggie, way less downtime. I mean, we're talking about getting back online in just a few minutes instead of hours of frantic manual work. Second, it protects you from all sorts of hardware problems, not just a dead server, but also things like network outages or losing connection to your storage. And third, it just makes life so much easier. You set it up once for the whole cluster, and boom, every single VM you put in there is protected. It's a classic set it and forget it situation. What this really means is that HA totally changes the game. It gets rid of the server as a single point of failure. By having that cluster, one server dying isn't a disaster anymore. It's just an event. An event the system was built to handle all on its own. Okay, this next part is super important. We need to be really clear about where HA fits in with other VMware cools because people get these mixed up all the time. And using the right tool for the right job is everything. First, let's talk about HA versus vMotion. The difference is really simple. It's all about planned versus unplanned. Think of HA as your firefighter. It reacts to an unexpected emergency, like a server dying. vMotion, on the other hand, is more like your scheduled construction crew. It's for planned stuff, like when you need to do maintenance on a server. You use vMotion to move your running VMs over to another host with 0 downtime. So one is for emergencies, the other is for scheduled work. Simple as that. Okay, now for the other big comparison, HA versus fault tolerance, or FT. This one is all about how much downtime you can live with. We already know HA is super fast, right? But there is a quick restart. The VM has to boot up on the new server, so you might have a minute or two of downtime. And honestly, for like 99% of your applications, that's totally fine. But what about that critical 1%? That's where fault tolerance comes in. This is the next level up. It's for those systems that absolutely positively cannot have even a second of downtime. FT works by creating a perfect, live, shadow copy of a VM on a different server. If the main one fails, the shadow copy takes over instantly. No restart, no interruption, nothing. It's incredible, but it's also a resource hog. You're basically doubling the resources needed for that one VM. So let's boil it all down. The crucial thing to remember is this. High availability is the absolute workhorse of your business continuity plan. It's your main go-to protection for quick, automatic recovery for the vast majority of your apps when things go wrong. This kind of automation is just an incredible way to build resilience right into your tech. But it kind of makes you think, right? If we can get this good at automatically recovering from a tech failure, how are we doing at building that same kind of resilience across our teams, our business processes, the entire organization? Just a little food for thought. Thanks so much for watching.